Hey, what's up everyone? I'm here today to take you through Moducase, or more specifically, the Moducase unit that I purchased. This unit is called the DF2401. It is a stackable display case, and more importantly for me, it is a display case you can constantly add to as your collection grows, which anyone in this hobby knows that you are going to keep collecting, and the worst thing for a collector is when you run out of space. So there's already some videos online on how to assemble these units, mainly the single units. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of how I went to build my unit. I won't go through every little detail because you can easily find some of those videos online already. Alright, I'm going to take you guys through the assembly for some of these. Now these are going to be different depending on what case you have. If you buy a single case, there's going to be a few more steps. Mine is a lot bigger. I've got a few assembled here. So I don't have all four walls to all my cubes because they're going to join together to make one big display. So the most important part, putting this together, is the magnets. So you can see these pins are sticking out, and these little magnets here, this is what actually holds the front display on your front panel. You want to make sure you know where your magnets are. So there are two bars with magnets, and then you have the actual main square, and this one will have a magnet on it as well. Here we go. Magnets. Okay, so all your magnets need to be facing in the same direction. So what you'll do is grab the Allen keys that come with it, and these rails already have the screws on them. So you'll just loosen these a little tiny bit. So let's see what I'm doing there. I'm just going to loosen that screw, just like that. There's your magnet. Okay. So let's loosen the other one. The one with the pins, that's the front bar. That's where the front glass or plexiglass will be connected to. So we're going to loosen all those up. Now normally I do this on a table, so it might take me a few extra minutes to do it this way. Alright. So, magnets out. And what you're going to do is just slide this bar right into the top. And then use the Allen key, screw it in. Second one, magnets out. All your magnets are out. I'm going to take that little square of off the top of the screw, just slide it into the rail. And then you'll grab your Allen key, put it up to the bottom, find that screw, and tighten it up. And this is exactly how you'll do all four rails. The only important part is making sure all your magnets are facing in the right direction. Just like that. Simple. I'll turn around and do the other side. Alright. Same thing, guys, just a little bit of a different angle. No magnets on this end, so I can actually put these on whatever way I want. So that little square, well, I should say the washer with the screws out into the rail, slide it in place. Grab your Allen key, tighten it up. And you want to make sure that the rail is flush with the bottom rail. I have to say, I'm really enjoying this rail system that they've created for these display stands for a number of reasons. One, it's actually fairly easy to put this all together. All it is just slot them in, tighten up the screws. These rails allow easy hiding of wires, so when you go to actually light up your display. You can easily tuck these wires that you'll use. You can just run them inside here, and it's easily hidden. An important note, when you're building these, there's a little washer right here. You can see it. Make sure, because sometimes this washer will fall down, make sure it stays up at the top of that screw when you're screwing it together. Otherwise, it's not going to go flush with the rest of the structure. Next, our top panel. It's great that you have these marked. So it says inner side. All right. So you'll know your top panel because it has little holes in it. So if you have LED lights, you can just install them that way. I'm going to have LED strips, so they will just stick on with two-way tape. So inner side down. So very simple. Let me just take that. I'm going to slide it in. Now you're going to want to make sure which way you're sliding it, that it actually fits flush into the groove of the back rail. Next is your back panel. Again, it's marked inner side, so make sure that goes on the inside. You can tell it's the bottom one because it's got two holes right here in the bottom. So we are just going to slide that right in to the bottom, right into the rails. Just like that. There's our back panel. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take your Allen key and make sure the screws are all the way out, or a good way of the way out of these posts. Rails. So unscrew these out. Alright, so with our screws extended from the rail, we're just going to slide this back panel right on through the four of them. Make sure that the paneling, your back panels, are sitting flush inside the rail. Alright, next you're going to grab these rubber strips, rip it in half, and you're going to place them inside two sides of the top. This keeps the backing from moving. See what I'm doing here? I'm just going to take that. Perfect. Then we have these guys. You'll notice that here we have no gap. But here, because of the backing, we do have a gap. And that's what these guys here are for. I'm just going to put these things in here. Push them in. And that helps to seal that little gap so no dust gets in. Base here, that just lays right in. Just lay it on top. So mine does not have another window side here because it's going to connect with those ones over there and a few others. All right, so vertical stacking these things, pretty easy. We're just gonna take one of these, which they've included, slide it right into your rail. And it's gonna slide all the way down. And then I'm gonna screw that in. And that is how we join all the cubes together. Joining these horizontally. Okay. We use these brackets. And we use these little, I don't know what you call these, but they have little tiny ball bearings that are spring loaded. So, spring loaded ball bearing into this. I'll slide that down. I'll screw it in. And that's how we're going to join these. I've already got the vertical. I'll do the horizontal. Alright, I finally have everything assembled. I have all my LED lights ran, and the last thing to do Just put on your glass or your front acrylic, sorry. Here it is. And why it was so important for those magnets to be facing outward that whole time is right here. Just like that. So easy. You need to get into the collection. Comes right off. Does that make you nervous? Do you feel like this might fall? Alright then. So, stick it on. That's on pretty damn good. But you know what? In case you want some added security, there you go. That little screw there, you can put that right in through the top. Screw that on, and then you haven't got to worry about anybody bumping into your display or accidentally, knocking off your front. These are very durable. I know that because I dropped one. Overall, it is a great setup. It's clean looking, and I'm very pleased with it. I've got a lot of questions in the community about these. I'm going to answer some of them now. So there's a lot of space in here, and I'm going to tell you why I've always wanted a big display case like this. Mostly comes out to Budget Stark. I'm going to show off a couple of pictures from his display case a few years ago, and this is why I wanted a big display case. I absolutely fell in love with this type of dynamic posing when it comes to the 1/6 scale figures. Anthony, Budget Stark, he did a wonderful job on this. It was very inspiring to me when I first started collecting. And I did the exact same thing every other collector has pretty much done. They started out with the IKEA Detolfs or Detolfs, whatever way you guys want to say it. And I could not get the dynamic posing and having these figures interacting with each other the same way that Anthony was getting. And he had, quite a large display case. And at the time, I actually didn't know how big of a display case he had. So I went ahead and had a custom case built. And I was so excited about it. And I put a fair bit of money into it. I bought really good glass, really thick glass, so, it could hold the weight. And it showed up, and I realized, wow, I still can't really fit a whole lot of figures in here. I contacted Anthony. I was like, wow, this is my new display. I'm like, but I can't get things in there. I just can't, make it look good. And I discovered his display case was actually a lot bigger than what I actually originally thought. So ever since then, I've been wanting a bigger display case, and I finally have it here with Moducase. And one of the greatest things about these display cases, if you're starting out, yes, these are expensive. But I'm telling you right now, as your collection grows, all you're going to do is keep buying, more Detolfs. You're going to keep having to get more lights for them. With this, it grows with you. You just take off a side panel of acrylic, you add on your next cube, and you just keep building your collection with your display. What did this display cost me? Everything. No, seriously. About $2,500 Canadian. They do pricing for pretty much all over. I've seen Australian pricing. I've seen US pricing and whatnot. You just go into the website, click on wherever you're from, and they'll do the pricing in your currency. My wait time. I pre-ordered this with half the money down in February of 2019, and I got this Thursday, June 13th. I remember that date very well. The delivery guy was showing up with this from UPS as we were getting ready to leave for the hospital as my second daughter was about to be born. So it took me a couple of days to actually even get to these to be assembled once everything with the family kind of calmed down. The dimensions of this display case, I guess it doesn't really matter what my dimensions are because you can customize this in any way you want. But this particular one, lengthwise, it is almost 95 inches in length. The depth, I believe it's about 26, and I believe the height is 77 inches in height. So that is roughly what you're looking at if you picked up this particular setup. How many figures can I fit in this? It's another question I'm getting. Once I get my whole display in there, I'll know. But right now, you can see I've got 8 figures in there. And, you know, a couple of like little Ultron sentries and whatnot. And, you know, there's still a fair bit of space up there. I mean, if I wanted to get ballsy with this one, I could do what I did in one of my Iron Man displays over here, which is I can take, you know, a few dynamic stands and attach them to the top over there and just have some Iron Man just kind of hanging out there. I don't know what I'm going to do with this display yet. I might move these guys over, but I really do like the whole all Iron Man display in this. This case was from Lazy Boy, so this is not obviously part of Moducase. So all in all, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head, I'm thinking I can comfortably, and when I say comfortably, I mean dynamic posing with, you know, a few museum poses, like you see Cap there. Cap's kind of got like a little museum pose going on there. Comfortably, I'm thinking about 110 figures in this display. Was it worth it is a question I'm getting. You know what, we see this question in the community a lot. You see people posting up figures, hey, like, I like this figure, I like this figure, but is it worth it? You know, value or worth, I think, is a personal opinion. I don't think anyone could ever answer that question for you. For me, personally, yes, this was worth it. I got the display I wanted. I've got a lot more options now for dynamic poses or museum poses. You know, right now I will use a lot more dynamic posing. As my collection grows, I will probably go to a few more museum style, and then when it gets to the point where I'm really running out of room, I'm just going to build onto it. And then I'll go back to more dynamic, I guess, poses when it gets bigger. So was it worth it? Yes, it was worth it for me. Zachary in the community, I had a chat with him there not long ago, and you know, he's more or less like, why would I spend that kind of money on a display like this? Because it costs a lot of money. He's like, I could put that money into more figures. He's not wrong. You could easily take that $2,500 and buy a lot more figures, and then head on over to IKEA and pick up, you know, their detolfs, and you're set. Those detolfs are cheap, and you know, you could easily add them around your room. They do like to spontaneously combust. I actually willingly knew I was going to do this review and said, hey, guys who's had their detolfs explode on them. And I had a few people, you know, respond and like post up pictures. And then the next day, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was after responding to that post, and he was apparently at home the next day, and one of his cabinets just spontaneously just like broke. So that's, you know, one side of the coin to consider too. But again, they're cheap. If they break, it's not much of a big deal. It's just a mess and a pain in the ass. Something that actually is finally handy in this community. Your lint roller. No microphone attached, but you can easily take up all the lint or little furs if you have dogs in your house like I do on the bottom parts. So yeah, lint roller, finally useful in this community. Does it come with installed lights? Obviously, it does not come with the lights installed, as you have to put the whole entire shelving unit together, but it is very easy to do your lighting. It's probably one of the easy steps of this whole entire thing. One of the greatest things about this display is they figured out how to hide virtually everything. If I was to lift up one of these panels here, you'd see that there are holes, you know, that you see when I first assemble this. The holes for the wires are all tucked down here. So my wire is essentially running here. And it's running all the way down these tubes on the inside. You might see them there. And it just comes right down on the inside, goes right out the back. And then it is now installed in these power supplies that come with it. So yeah, the lighting super easy to do. They're just daisy chained all the way from one end down to the next. Um, super simple. Um, their customer service is phenomenal. Brian, I'm telling you, this guy is on the ball. For me, I'm in a different time zone completely from him. He's over, I think, in Singapore. So he's usually takes a little bit getting back to me, but it's only because of the time difference. Other than that, he's on the ball, and he is any question at all. He's there to help you out. I had a few little snags along the way. I'm like, how do I do this? Because I just quite was, I was a little bit stuck with the instructions, and he pointed everything out. He was great. Um, Highly recommend this company based on customer service alone. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up this review. Um, I'm pretty sure I covered all the questions. If not, PM me, leave a comment, whatever the case may be. Um, Again, if it's not something that I can help you with, I can guarantee you Brian can help you with it. Um, my most favorite part of this has got to be just like the clean look, the ability to just like the magnets just to stick that front on. I think it is awesome. Everything is well built. I love the rail system. When it comes time, if you wanted to say install a shelf, because I mean, right now I'm using acrylic risers, as you can see over here, and that's pretty much how I'm going to raise my figures to get the most out of you know the display case itself. But you can buy shelving, and the shelving would just click right into these rails. I've seen one of their examples. They have a coffee table coming, and I think they had maybe there's an '89 Batmobile in it. Wow, man, was it ever cool? So you can buy one of these and then install shelves. You can get a half shelf. You can get a full shelf. One of the downsides to having a DTOF is what the hell are you doing with your Thanos? What are you doing with your Hulk? I know what you're doing. You're modding that DTOF to have half a glass, or you are just raising up the glass a little bit to try to fit it all in. With this, there is no issue fitting in any type of figure. I mean, one of the tallest figures you are going to find is a Hulkbuster. And that guy fits in there, and he is clearing that no problem. Like, he's got this. I could even raise him up on some type of, extra block or something, and he's still going to fit in there. But yeah, if you want to buy shelving in particular for this, they do sell that. So you can easily add in, an additional row of shelving with no problem whatsoever. So yeah, guys, let me know if you need any other questions answered. I might do another video pretty much just based on display types itself. So I'll go through like all the different types of display cases I've had, some of my friends, their setups and whatnot. I'm hoping to do that hopefully in the next week or so. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything that comes to mind, let me know. Thanks for watching.